is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And glad to have you with us on this first day of December. Can you believe it?
I really wish you hadn't put it like that. I mean, I knew it, but still, I really could have done without the tangible right there in your face, 24 days till Christmas. Although
Yeah.
I'm probably more ready than I've ever been on December 1st.
For Christmas? That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed.
I mean, you'll take that. Look, I've been there. It's not exactly the easiest thing to do when we do what we do, because we work 24/7. But yeah, so it makes it a little bit nicer when you can say, okay, I've got most of my Christmas shopping done.
Mm-hmm.
We have a list on our phones.
Have you checked it twice?
We've checked it mostly. Matter of fact, on our porch right now, we have a couple of gifts that are going to make their way under the tree here momentarily. So
On the porch. I don't guess you have to worry too much about porch pirates where you live.
no, not at all. Seriously, like you got to be coming back here. So, I mean, it works out for us. And we, even if we did, we've got so much porch space. Like, I mean, it's on the back porch on the patio. So, heck, if you came all the way back here, one, the Ring camera would get you. And two, by the time you got out of the driveway, we'd be looking to see who it was.
If you're there.
Well, I mean, well,
Of course, you're there most of the time, though.
I can tell you, I don't know that there's been 10 minutes where one of the two of us wasn't here since Chandler was born. So yeah, I feel you there. But yeah, it's pretty close to Christmas, and I'm right there with you. We've pretty much got everything done. So it's exciting.
Oh, because clearly you've ordered a lot of stuff online.
Oh yeah, we're almost, exclusively online shoppers at this point. We order our groceries online.
Man,
We kind of have to.
that's a generational thing, I guess.
I wouldn't have done it. I think, COVID probably helps me figure that kind of stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get on the Kroger app and I'll tell you one thing, we spend a lot less money at the grocery store because there's no opportunity to just pick something up. And so we spend a lot less money at the grocery store, and it's been really cool. I used to have this app that would set out you would pick your dinners, and when you pick the dinner, it would give you the list of ingredients you needed for that dinner, and then you would mark off what you already had, and then it would send the rest of the list to like Walmart or Kroger or whatever, and you just go pick it up. It was pretty cool, but stop paying for that app. So it is
Downsizing, huh? Sort of like a certain media operation that we're familiar with.
No kidding. Tough day for a lot of those folks, and it's unfortunate. Well, unfortunate for one party and probably fortunate for the other. They just don't know it yet.
Speaking firsthand on two occasions, it's tough to realize it and in the moment. But yes, there is life after.
And most of the time it's better.
Most of the time. You just got to get there.
Got to get to the next step. And a lot of those folks will, for sure. But yes, absolutely. we are thinking about all of you who found yourselves without a job this afternoon. Please know that if you're watching. Yeah, have or will.
Because I'm not sure everybody knows yet. Unfortunately. Yeah. So.
Well, we have a good show lined up. Kevin CREASY is going to join us here in just a moment and talk about his Class 6A state championship game with Beach that is set for Saturday night. Trying to get Friendship and Nashville Christian up, but it's apparently been delayed, or at least the broadcast has.
It hasn't started yet. They are just now getting ready to flip, looks like.
Gotcha. Well, I'm surprised that it's not on NFHS just yet, but we'll get there.
Fortunately, I've got my TV 30. So.
Must be nice to have live TV.
Well, no, we're streaming. We've got direct.
Still, I don't have the My TV 30 option, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate.
But yeah, we got a lot to get to, and we're going to do just that. What have we got here? CREASY needs to go to 2:30. Okay, sure. We'll get Kevin at 2:30, which is perfect because we've got a lot to get into, including yesterday's results, some of today's results, and the rest of today's schedule. We'll give that to you on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
In Wednesday, this is Thursday, right? In Wednesday, girls basketball action, Clarksville High School defeated Clarksville Academy 48-45. It was East Nashville's girls with a 62-8 win over Hunters Lane, and Cookville defeated Lipscomb Academy 65-29. Boys action, East Nashville defeated Hunters Lane 70-52. In women's basketball action on Wednesday, Lipscomb defeated Oakwood 77-46. Lemoyne Owen with a 60-56 win over visiting Fisk. Junior college action, Volunteer State's women defeated Dyersburg State 55-51. And Columbia State's women took it on the chin against Southwest Tennessee 64-45. Women's basketball action this morning just finished up. MTSU in the 11 o'clock tip against Tennessee Tech defeated the Lady Eagles 83-45.
Men's basketball action yesterday. Lipscomb defeated Navy 82-77, as we told you yesterday. Virginia Commonwealth, the 70-65 winner over Vanderbilt. It was St. Bonaventure 71-64 winners over Middle Tennessee State, and Tennessee took care of McNeese 76-40. St. Louis downed Tennessee State 80-63, while Western Kentucky edged Austin Peay 75-74. It was Lemoyne Owen in overtime over Fisk 87-83. And in junior college action, Dyersburg State took care of Vol State 81-69, and Columbia State with a close one, edging out Southwest Tennessee 65-63. In NBA action, the Grizzlies fell to the Timberwolves 109-101.
Columbia State and Southwest Tennessee never not entertaining. By the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. High school football action, and we'll talk more about this here in a bit. Lipscomb Academy with the 42-0 win over Christ Presbyterian Academy for the Division 2A championship. Getting ready to kick off is Friendship Christian and Nashville Christian in D2A. And at 6 o'clock this evening in Chattanooga, MBA and Baylor for the D2 3A championship. Friday, Blue Cross Bowl action at 10 o'clock Central Time, Alcoa and East Nashville in a rematch for the Class 3A championship. And we'll talk more about that and tomorrow's schedule later in the show.
Yes, we will. Basketball doubleheaders tonight. 6 o'clock starts for all of these. Murfreesboro Central's at Community. Ezo Harding hosting Republic. Cane Ridge goes to Hillwood. Liberty Creek's at home against Cheatham County. Overton's at McGavick. Stewart's Creek goes to Middle Tennessee Christian. USN, which is University School of Nashville, is at Webb School. Creekwood going to West Creek, and Zion Christian hosting Franklin Classical.
Battle of the Creeks, huh? Wood and West.
Yeah.
And girls basketball action at 6 o'clock tonight. Harpeth Hall is at Summit. And boys basketball at 6:30. Tennessee Heat is at Upperman up in Baxter. Women's basketball action tonight or today at 4:30. Cumberland is at Wilberforce. Also, UT Southern is at Thomas More. At 5 o'clock, Trevecca is at Northwood. And at 6, Vanderbilt making the trek to Johnson City Tennessee take on ETSU. That's a 6 o'clock start on ESPN Plus. Men's basketball, Cumberland is at Wilberforce at 6:30. Also at 6:30, UT Southern is at Thomas More at 7. Trevecca is at Northwood, and at 7 on ESPNU, Belmont takes on visiting Valparaiso. NHL action at 6 o'clock on Bally Sports South. The Nashville Predators are at the New Jersey Devils. And at 7:15 on Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football. Buffalo is at New England. That one might actually be worth watching, Yao. And that is your rundown.
As I was making the rundown, that was my first thought was, man, this might be the first time that I've wanted to watch a Thursday night game in quite a while.
This season, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough.
It's been pretty brutal. By the way, yeah. Chris, do you have it? They are 30 seconds in now. Friendship Christian has the ball, and I'm not sure how much we can tell you without the express written consent of
the TWSAA.
Yeah,
there you go.
Which we do not have, by the way.
No, we do not, in fact, have that. But who's on the call?
I don't know. It was Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow had the CPA Lipscomb game just now, and apparently they will have the MBA Baylor game in the nightcap. So I don't know who has this one. It's not Chip and Kelly. He didn't mention it.
No, it's not. I did. I thought it was interesting, and I know that the Conference USA's TV deal ahead of, has not been great. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. But a lot of UAB fans were tuned in today. And someone said, boy, these announcers are way better than the stuff we get on our games.
Oh, jeez.
And if that's the case.
Wow. Let me stop.
Yeah. But yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I was like,
that's highly interesting, actually. Yeah.
So, of course, again, the bar's pretty low on that one. So, I mean, it could have been me and you, and probably would have been better.
You maybe.
You can analyze. me and
just
Justin
remember what the first 4 letters in analyze are, right?
Justin and I made up a bunch of words this morning. We had undoubtedly or something instead of undoubtedly. We had some goofy stuff going on.
Well, y'all are early though, man. I mean, it's tough to be awake and legible that early.
It was rough. It was rough. Top story today coming from the baseball world, as the legendary spitballer Gaylord Perry passed away. And
this is bad. I'll just tell you, I didn't realize he was still alive. So, but
dude, it's Gaylord Perry. It's not like it was Willie Mays or something.
Yeah, but I mean, he was died at his home in Gaffney, South Carolina, early this morning of natural causes. So.
Home of the Peach Water Tower.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, they got a Peach Water Tower in Gaffney. I only know that because of House of Cards.
Okay, well that explains why I don't know. North Carolina native made history as the first player to win the Cy Young in both leagues, winning the American League Cy Young in 1972 with the Cleveland Indians, now the Guardians, and 6 years later with the San Diego Padres, just after turning 40. So went 21-6 in 1978 for the Padres. That was his third and last 20-win season. Pitched from 1962 until 1983, 5-time All-Star, 1991 Hall of Fame inductee. And I don't know who would be crazier, umpires or him, in this day and time.
You're right. I mean, I'll tell you, Gaylord Perry was one of the more unique characters, which the 70s in general had some of the most unique baseball characters there were. But that high leg kick was always fun to watch.
Had a career record of, reading from the Associated Press story, had a career record of 314 and 255, finished with 3,554 strikeouts, and used a pitching style where he doctored baseballs or made batters believe he was doctoring them. Your choice.
I mean, his autobiography was literally called Me and the Spitter.
Me and the Spitter.
So,
but I mean, if you are putting that kind of doubt in folks' mind, it's almost as effective as actually doing it.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you can't tell me that if I'm watching that, I'm thinking, okay, what's this ball going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just throws a fastball by you.
Straight down the middle.
Peachtree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no movement at all.
Just right down there.
Yep. So,
oh man. So
yeah. I mean, you mentioned the 70s and the characters and, the gamesmanship that went on during that time. There's been a clip making the rounds on Twitter here the last little bit. Hal McRae and his barrel rolls into second base. It's like, stuff like, you don't see that. You can't see that. They can't play like that anymore.
No, exactly. And it's almost unfortunate.
It's almost unfortunate. Chase Utley would tell you otherwise. But it's almost unfortunate. Buster Posey would tell you otherwise as well. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a long gone era. Yes,
it is. All right. Well, let's take our first break of the day. When we come back, we can talk a little coaching carousel. We hadn't been able to get finished with the conversation that we started on Monday, Mo. So we finally have a little time. Let's do that. And we'll hand out some hardware a little bit later and get to Kevin Creasy as well. So stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Can you hear me, Mo?
I can hear you. You sound a little echoey, but I can hear you. What's up?
Well, I had to plug my phone in, which meant I had to go to the AirPods.
Oh. Well, yes, I can hear you, to answer your question.
Well,
it doesn't sound as good as it did, but I can hear you.
That's unfortunate. But again,
Before we go any further, Chris, I saw something on Twitter, scrolling through Twitter as I am wont to do. Thompson, Alabama, your home state, apparently won the 7A state championship today with an 8th grade quarterback.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. 7A
Yes.
played on Wednesday. Good Lord.
7A has a week off.
Okay.
So they play the first day and they play the Wednesday. But
Okay.
yeah.
Now, do I understand 7A is the largest classification in the AHSAA? Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
With only it's a super
Super 7?
32 teams and whatnot. So
Okay. All right. Here's my question. Does Thompson have its 7th and 8th graders in the same building with its 9 through 12?
that's a good question. It probably does now. Just because they've rebuilt another school out there. So if it's not in the same building, it's probably on the same like general campus.
I'm just trying to understand, and I'm having people on Twitter speak to me like I'm a kindergartner. Never mind, I've been doing this for 36 years. I'm trying to understand how an 8th grader would be in the same building at a school that's in the largest classification in the state. I mean, you just don't see that very often. You see 8th graders play, as it's been pointed out to me, at Columbia Academy, at Summertown, places like that. Richland has done it. I know that. If you're in the same building, I get that. What I didn't understand, what I don't understand, is a school in the largest classification in the state having its middle schoolers and its high schoolers in the same building. So I was really hoping maybe somebody from Alabama would weigh in, but no, I'm getting a bunch of folks in Tennessee telling me what I already dang know.
It's an interesting thought. It is a really big campus. So,
but I don't think it's well, in Tennessee, which is all I'm familiar with, which is why I was asking. I think it's building. I don't think it's campus. Now, maybe it's different in Alabama. I don't know. It's kind of why I was asking.
Okay, so Thompson Middle School is actually it's off. I mean, it's not far away, but it's probably a half mile. So that's a good question. Maybe not. Boy, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess, and I mean, it's the same school system, so you're allowed to do that, right? So it's not like here in Murray County where a kid from EA Cox could go play varsity for either Spring Hill or Columbia Central, wherever he would decide to play, because it's not the same. I guess that couldn't happen.
Right.
Maybe it could. I don't know.
No.
Okay, so it can.
No, that can't happen here. No.
But
what can happen and what has happened is, and they don't have football, but Hampshire, Santa Fe, Culleoka, they have 8th graders all the time because they're in the same building.
Right. And I guess because it's a city school system, and it's the same school, they only have the one feeder school. You have one middle school. So I guess that's how. Because there are a lot of city school systems which are what we would kind of call like a unit school.
Mm-hmm.
Here, where it's the same school system from K through 12,
but
it's only one school system.
But it's one school system, not one school building.
Right.
Okay. I need some of your Alabama people to weigh in on this, because I need to understand this. So.
We've always allowed middle schoolers to play varsity football, no matter what.
Really?
Yeah. That's never not been a thing. I mean, Dora High School had 2.5 feeder schools, and one of the kids that I grew up playing with played 8th grade, was a starting running back at 8th grade. And that was not unusual.
Okay, but Dora High School and Dora Middle School were separate buildings.
There was a T.S. Boyd Middle School, a Summerton Middle School, and they got some kids from Sipsey Middle School. So
those kids would leave school,
go practice.
and their parents would take them to high school football practice.
Yes.
On a separate campus.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's good.
That's tough for me to get my mind around.
It's a completely different situation, man. We've like I said, it's weird to me that 8th graders can't play varsity on a different campus, I guess.
By the way, Nashville Christian just tied this game up with a seriously long kickoff return. I did not catch where he caught it, but they've not tied it at 7-6. Friendship Christian.
But with the extra point, they would, in fact, tied.
95-yard kickoff return by whoever number 7 is for Nashville Christian.
How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way, talking about youngsters. And this is what I actually asked Tyler Palmatier this earlier when I had him on for the show this morning. Thinking about that 8th grader for Thompson High School at the highest level in Alabama, it's not unprecedented to see these 9th graders.
So the extra point was blocked. They did not tie the game.
Of course it was.
Yeah, my bad.
Announcer jinx.
My bad. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff Brothers, who drove the bus to Nashville Christian's basketball game last week against Columbia Academy.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. So good for you.
Well, I had it. I actually finally was able to get it up on screen, so I'll be able to keep up with it as well. I'm excited. Funny that you should, but like I said, these young quarterbacks, it's not unprecedented to see these kids succeed at even the highest of levels. I mean, you think about it, you've got Nashville Christian kid, Jared Curtis. You got Jared Curtis. He's a freshman, and you've got the kid in Georgia who's out here, going to the state semifinals and, not losing to anybody but Colquitt County, which is nothing to shake a stick at. So,
no.
The
Colquitt County Packers.
That's right. They probably have a good reason for that. I don't know. Former home of Rush Probst. But yeah, it is interesting that these young kids are being, are just able to kind of step in and be really good quarterbacks and playing for state championships. That's wild.
In this case of Thompson, at the highest level.
Yeah, it's nuts, and not just winning, but going 12 of 14 and throwing 5 touchdown passes, setting a state record for touchdown passes in the state championship game.
I saw that's what kind of caught my eye. He was named MVP of the championship game, and apparently he gave his MVP plaque to the receiver who caught 4 of those touchdown passes.
And let's be honest, he was probably more accurate than whoever voted on the MVP.
There you go.
He said it. He was like, that dude caught the passes, and he's a senior. Yeah, he's a senior. I mean, good for that kid.
Mm-hmm. He gets it.
He does, and that's pretty awesome. But
so I have completely derailed the segment, but
that's fine. Look, I think that's one of the really cool things about the dynamic that you and I have, especially at this time of year when you get to see the differences between Alabama's postseason, Tennessee's postseason, and all the things that go with it. Right, I'm just now seeing the extra point. By the way.
I think that was the replay.
No, I'm literally watching the extra point right now.
Oh wow! So, okay.
I'm a little behind, so maybe we just we'll have to keep the conversation off air. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, we do have Kevin Creasy. He's going to join us in just a moment. Before we get to him, Mo, you want to go ahead and hand out some hardware because he's going to be on here in just a moment. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way.
We can do that. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, the End-to-Win Life Southern Middle Tennessee Team of the Week, presented by our friends at Custom Stone Handlers, Ned, Rich, and the fine folks there. Custom Stone Handlers. Visit customstonehandlers.com as you see them in our commercial block each and every day. We appreciate them. The Team of the Week, Mo.
Team of the week is the Summertown Lady Eagles basketball team. Went 3-0 last week down at the Cornersville Thanksgiving tournament with wins over Culleoka, the host Lady Bulldogs, and Moore County. So congratulations to Jeremy Jean, Carly Campbell, and that bunch down there in Summertown.
And our Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Southern Middle Tennessee Athlete of the Week goes to
Independence junior guard Jet Montgomery. Averaged 27.5 points and a couple of losses, unfortunately, for the Eagles last week. Lost in overtime to Webb School, and then they lost to Good Pasture, but no shame in either of those. Good Pasture has a loaded backcourt that includes Vanderbilt signee Isaiah West, and Webb School, coached by former Coffee County coach Michael Williams, one of the better programs in D2A. So a couple of tough losses there for Independence, but Jet Montgomery continuing to get it done offensively for the Eagles.
Congratulations to Jet and to the Summertown girls basketball team. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here on Main Street Sports today. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, Kevin CREASY, football coach at OAKLAND, will talk to us about his Blue Cross Bowl championship appearance coming up on Saturday right here. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Mo Patton coming to you live on this Thursday as we are keeping an eye on the Blue Cross Bowl championships as Friendship Christian and Nashville Christian, 2 Middle Tennessee schools, are duking it out for the Class A championship in Division II. Should be a lot of fun. We had an all-Middle Tennessee contest this morning as well with Christ Presbyterian and Lipscomb Academy. Lipscomb Academy 42-0 winners over the Lions there. Pretty surprised by that score, but we'll get into it. And a third all-Middle Tennessee final will be the finale of this year's Blue Cross Bowl championships. That includes the Beach Buccaneers and the Oakland Patriots. And joining us now on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill, is Kevin CREASY. And Coach CREASY, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me.
This guy knows how to work a backdrop.
Right. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You know, when you're the best, it ain't bragging, huh, Kevin?
No, I'll try not bragging too much, Mo. Let me make sure I got everything. Yeah, there we go.
That's pretty impressive. Kevin, I want to ask you because I think that you and Anthony Crabtree from Beach were on a Zoom press conference earlier this week, and I hear that apparently there was a little poor mouthing going on where somebody was just trying to pitch the idea that they're just hoping that they can go to Chattanooga and compete. And I don't know that anybody is believing that Anthony Crabtree and Beach are going to Chattanooga just to compete. that program hasn't done what Oakland has done, but obviously they're one of the top programs in this area. And I know you guys are expecting a dogfight Saturday.
Yes, he's an old buddy of mine, so I don't know who he was fooling on that. Maybe somebody that doesn't know him very well, but at the same time, it's hard to to go to West Tennessee and have a running back go for 300 yards, put up 50 points in the fourth round of the playoffs, and think that you're just going to be happy to be there. They've got a heck of a team. They wouldn't be playing Saturday night if they didn't. And like I said, all we had to do is turn on the film, and we saw what kind of team he's got.
This is the third straight year now that it's been an all mid-state matchup in the 6A championship. You guys beat Brentwood 2 years ago, beat Summit last year. What does this say for Middle Tennessee football at the highest level?
Yeah, it's wild because the split is right down the middle here in Middle Tennessee. So Rutherford County keeps going to east, and Sumner and Williamson County are going west. And the Summit team we played last year was incredible. But they had an incredible game with Hendersonville the week before. So Hendersonville was one game away from making it. A really good Sumner County team. And then Brentwood had a heck of a team 2 years ago, Coach Crawford's last year there. So, I think it tells you that right now Middle Tennessee's got it going on in 6A.
It is interesting because I had a conversation with Mo Thompson's football coach, his brother. I had a conversation with him about how was the recruiting in Middle Tennessee going to change now that UAB's got Trent Dilfer. And, he said 5 years ago, Middle Tennessee had maybe 25 kids signed D1. Now it's 25 kids from one county. And so it's pretty impressive what you guys have been able to do to continue your success at Oakland amidst this kind of talent boom that we've had over the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's definitely getting better. Of course, there's a lot of people moving into this area of the state. So the population boom has a lot to do with it. But I think the football's gotten better. And because of that, you see a lot of different kids getting an opportunity to play big time football out of this Middle Tennessee area.
Kevin CREASY, coach of the Oakland Patriots, two-time defending state champions in Class 6A, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Kevin, remind me, how long have you been at Oakland?
This is my 8th year.
Your 8th year.
Yeah, I think so. 15. I got here in 2015.
Anytime a guy has fewer losses than he has years out of school, it's kind of saying something. 109-7. Is that right?
I'm not sure, but
yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. But, how, Kevin, have y'all been able to get this thing to this level and keep it there?
We've had a lot of things go our way. We were able to keep our coaching staff intact for years. We've got really good assistant coaches. Unfortunately, this past year I lost 4 coaches that have been with me for a long time. So we were getting a little nervous, but all 4 of them, they got promotions and moved on to bigger and better things. And, hopefully any young guy that works for us that wants to go ahead and move up in the world of coaching and all that, they can come here and we can help them. And, real proud of guys that are under, I guess, my coaching tree that are getting opportunities and doing well. And so we've had some consistency with coaches and philosophy and people singing off the same sheet of music, I guess. And like I said, Oakland's had a run of talent, but I think it goes way beyond that. And so we're real happy with what we've been able to accomplish, and we see it, going on for a few more years.
When you took that job, taking over for Thomas McDaniel, who is now out at Christian Brothers in Memphis, coming from Trousdale County, I remember there was a lot of conjecture. Yeah, he's had a lot of success at Trousdale, but that ain't this.
That's right.
Have you been surprised at any point in what you've been able to get done at Oakland, or was this what you expected?
No, I think I believe that this was a good job. I had a great job. I didn't need to run off from a great job, and there was only a couple jobs that I would have left Trousdale for. Somebody was working at UT at the time, so they weren't looking. I think Memphis had a pretty good coach, that's at Florida State now. So Oakland and then a couple of those college jobs were about the only ones that would take me out of Trousdale, and I had some pretty strong beliefs that Oakland was a great job, and got a lot of support from the administration. That's always huge. Got great facilities, great kids, parent support, community support. So, I was always, believing that this thing could be a gold mine.
It's it certainly has been, and will continue to be. Like you said, you think you've got a couple of years left in the tank in this, and one of the reasons that I'm sure you think that is, or two of the reasons, one, Corey Smith and the other, Trey Johnson, both juniors, and they get after the quarterback. It's Saturday night. Beach is going to find itself running from those two fellas. You got to think.
Those two are definitely fast. It's good when your two outside linebackers are both on the 200-meter relay team for your track team. So those two guys, they are very fast and athletic. And like I said, they do give quarterbacks some issues. And like I said, they're just juniors, and we're happy that they'll be back next year.
The rest of this defense has just been phenomenal all year long, and that's one thing that you as well as anybody. Defense wins championships. Is you got to score a lot of points, but when you can get 43.5 sacks in a season, that's a different level.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. That's what's scary is Coach Crabtree's kind of stubborn like myself. He may decide to go a couple series without even throwing it. So, he's like myself. A lot of times he'll just decide that he's going to see who breaks first. And so to his credit, there may not be a lot of sacks if we don't make them have to throw it on a few occasions. So makes for an interesting matchup for sure.
Kevin, you talked about Beach's performance down at Bartlett. You guys had a run.
Can you hear him, Coach?
Last thing I heard was Bartlett.
Yeah, he did. He dropped out. I'm pretty sure he was going to the Maryville game, and that appointment television, as it has become over the years, it's just been insane how that has just become the Thanksgiving matchup. And this is not this year's Maryville team.
Right.
Probably wasn't the best one you faced, but they still give you a challenge.
Yeah, Maryville's still Maryville. At the end of the day, Maryville's won all those state championships for a reason, and gave us a heck of a matchup, just like they always do. our guys played really hard, and I'm real proud of the way we played, and thought we did a really good job starting off really fast. And
Yeah, you did. You take
yeah,
opening kickoff back, it's a good way to start.
yeah, I think 15 seconds into the game we were up, so that was always a good start. But at the end of the day, anytime that you can get to that game and play Maryville, it's something special, and that means you've had a good year. Now we just want to win one more and have a great year.
Yeah, one of the cool things about Thanksgiving is that it's a unique way of trying to get prepared for a game. And you guys how does that work for you guys? Do you guys just look, Thanksgiving's on, it's on Saturday now. It just is.
Yeah, it's kind of expected, when we have our meetings, and we talk to our booster club and our parents, and we give out the calendar for the year. That date's on there, and it doesn't say Thanksgiving. It says Thanksgiving practice. And so our families all know that we expect to be practicing that morning and playing that next day. And that's the way it's been for like 8 years. And hopefully we can keep making it to that game that weekend. And like I said, it is special because a lot of people are home. And so we get to see a lot of the guys that played here and the alum come by and say hey. And college guys are, coming by because they're in for Thanksgiving break. So it's always neat to be playing on that weekend.
Make sure to take plenty of clothes with you this week. We're not going to have the weather we got last year.
I know. I actually had to shed some clothes last year. I got a little hot at halftime. So, I don't think I'm going to have that problem this year.
No, we looked at the weather, and it's pretty cold. So make sure you got plenty to bundle up with, and it's going to be a great football game again. Beach and Oakland at 6:00 Central Time on Saturday night. So that's always fun too when you get that extra hour. There's Mo. Mo, what's up? We talked about Maryville. We talked about practicing on Thanksgiving. You got anything else that you want to get to?
I do want to ask, and clearly you've had a little practice with it now, but playing on Saturday, what type challenges does that provide in terms of preparation with that extra long week?
Yeah, it is a very long week. I'm sure Coach Crabtree feels like myself. We wish we could play tomorrow. But, that extra day, we're trying to take advantage of it. We've got some guys that are getting some treatment. We're getting some guys in some ice baths. It sounds crazy in December, but trying to get some legs back under them. We got a really good trainer that's trying to get some guys ready for the ball game. It's been a really long year. And then, of course, we've had the flu kind of come through our locker room. We had 4 starters out Monday, but they're all going to be okay, hopefully, by the ball game. So that extra day is probably going to help us in the long run. And hopefully those guys aren't contagious, and we can all stay pretty healthy and make it to the ball game Saturday.
Awesome. I guess you're probably one of the last people to beat Alabama Birmingham coach Trent Dilfer. How and you mentioned it tongue in cheek about UT and Memphis weren't open when you took the Oakland job, but I mean, do you have aspirations at that level, Kevin?
I've always kind of looked at that as being, a dream job, a college job. And I don't know, the older I get, the less and less I think about that sort of thing. Right now I'm happy coaching my son, and he's on the team. He's a sophomore. But, I always thought about it, and it would make for another good challenge. And, you always want to kind of see what you're made out of. So, I don't know. We'll look, and we'll see what's, in the cards in the future.
Cincinnati's open.
Well, like I said, Mo, I don't want to correct you on your own show, but there was a comment you said. You said probably the last one to beat Dilfer. It's not probably.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you setting the record straight there. Coach CREASY?
Yes. Yes. I want to give you an affirmative. That is a fact.
Well, we like to be factual. So, yes. Kevin CREASY, two-time defending 6A state champion and the last coach to beat Trent Dilfer in the Tennessee high school ranks, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Kevin, good luck in being the last coach to beat Anthony Crabtree on Saturday night.
Well, Anthony may have the last laugh. He may be the guy that beat the guy that beat Trent Dilfer. So you just never know. So it's whoever laughs last laughs best. So hopefully I can keep Anthony from being too happy.
We look forward to seeing it, man. Thank you for your time, and again, good luck this weekend.
Thanks. Going to be a great game. Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Mo, one of my favorite things to do when I watch home improvement shows, those renovation shows, and at the end when they do the reveal, I like to count how many times they say, "Look at that," or "Look at it." And that's exactly what I thought of when you were, it's like count the championship plaques on the wall. Look at it. It's impressive, isn't it?
It is impressive. That's probably one of the better backdrops we've had for the show. So kudos to our guest, Kevin CREASY, and the job that he's done over at Oakland and at Trousdale before that. I mean, he's been getting it done at a high level for a long time, man. And he's one of my personal favorites. So wish him a lot of luck this weekend.
I enjoyed watching that week 1 matchup, Marshall County and Columbia Central, with him on the sideline.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He talks about his coaching tree, but he is a branch of Bobby Sharp's tree. He played for Bobby Sharp over at Lewis County. So guess he was back watching his mentor get after it in week 1?
And his former quarterback, who is the starting quarterback at
Marshall County.
Marshall County.
Yeah. Wasn't going to get into that, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. He is. He's a former Oakland quarterback, and it's cool to watch him, and he does a great job every time he comes on the show. We really appreciate him when he's on Coach's Corner, and we appreciate Renee Hart, the fine folks at From the Heart, for allowing us to do that each and every Thursday, talking to a coach from around the Middle Tennessee area. Again, don't forget to get breakfast. They've got the breakfast cart outside. They've got great catering options if you're looking for, office lunch is really good, or any other catering that you may need. From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill is going to make sure you are fed and happy, I promise. And educated. You can read a book while you're waiting on your food.
You won't wait very long, so I'm not sure how far into your book you're going to get, but yeah,
you just have to keep going back.
There you go.
Make sure to take a bookmark with you. That way you'll know where your spot is. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about maybe we'll get into the coaching carousel. Who knows? We may be talking about elves coming out of Christmas trees.
I'll try not to sidetrack us this time.
We'll get to it right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around.
This holiday season, the largest lantern event in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. After sunset, come see more than 1,000 Chinese lanterns. All new designs including mythical beasts, a fantastical North Pole village, even a dragon soaring over your head. Welcome back to Zoo Illumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, back with you here on this Thursday edition, December 1st. And we are talking a little college football now. Coaching, you just mentioned it, Mo. Cincinnati is open, and one of the reason for that is because Luke Fickell has taken the Wisconsin job. Matt Rule's at Nebraska. The Big Ten West is quite possibly the worst division in all of college football. What do these two guys bring to that division? Are you muted, or can I just not hear you?
I think it's coming on Mo's end.
He's not muted, so that's interesting.
Yes, he is. He was muted here. My bad.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I was self-muted. Wisconsin underperformed. Obviously, Nebraska has for quite some time. I'm interested in how Matt Rule works out in Nebraska more so than I am Fickell at Wisconsin. I think that's a great hire. He's pretty much been in that Midwest area. Rule having been at Temple and then having been at Baylor and then in the NFL, I'm still not sure how that works, how what he does works at Nebraska. So, but clearly they both needed to go in another direction, as we said. So it'll bear watching.
Yeah, I will say this, the first year under Matt Rule as a new coach has not been good. He was, I think, 1-11 at Temple his first year, which it's Temple. He was maybe 1-11 at Baylor his first year.
I think he might have been 1-11 at Baylor, yeah.
But the second and third years have gotten considerably better, and I think that's pretty interesting that he would find his way back to the college game. Apparently, they found some sort of deal to be made with the Panthers, and I'm sure the Panthers were not going to stop him from making a deal to become a college coach. I think he got a little bit of they got a little reprieve from that.
A little relief from that $48 million that they were under.
Yeah, so that's always good. And then this is a guy who probably not going to have another chance at the pro level, if I had to guess. So if he wanted to coach again, might as well get back into it. And Nebraska is a place where perhaps he can find some success again. If you're going to go coach in a division, this is a division that you feel like you can win pretty quick.
It may be a division that you can win pretty quick, but I mean, is it at a school where you can win pretty quick? I mean, again, Scott Frost back at his alma mater, and he's not able to get it done. Maybe, I don't know. Is Nebraska broken?
I don't think so. I think what you saw them do after
Frost
exit. Last year, you think about all the one possession losses. They didn't lose any games by double digits last year. Now, obviously that changed this year, but they did beat Indiana. They beat Rutgers, lost to Purdue by 6. Illinois beat them pretty good, but lost to Minnesota by a touchdown, lost to Wisconsin by a point, beat Iowa. You got to feel pretty good about, one, the roster you have is clearly not incapable of winning. Then you add in the transfer portal and, a fan base and boosters who are likely willing to dole out some NIL cash. I think it's a place you can win. I really do.
It'll certainly be entertaining to watch, I think. I think, again, when you bring in a guy with the background of a Matt Rule and you put him in a program with the tradition and the history of a Nebraska, it's going to bear watching. But as you went through those results, I mean, it just kind of illuminated to me just how bad, again, the Big Ten West is.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's horrible. And I don't really know. I mean, listen, I think Luke Fickell makes Wisconsin, which Wisconsin was probably the favorite going in, to be honest with you, this year. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities to say Wisconsin wins this thing next year.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say that Wisconsin wins this thing next year either. And I'm not sure how bad Wisconsin was.
I think it was just a Paul Chryst issue. And I don't know why.
I don't
it's
either.
Not like he'd been a problem before. Like, what happened?
I don't
Wisconsin?
know. I don't know. I think as much as anything, I think it was a little impatience maybe on the administration's part. It would just, I mean, it just felt so sudden, that one. I mean, I think of all of the mid-season coaching changes that took place this year, I think that may have been the most surprising one.
Yeah. I don't think I don't remember exactly when he got fired, but I don't think people realized how that Illinois was going to be pretty good when they beat them 34-10. I think a lot of people were like, Illinois, they're terrible, but it's Brett Bielema, it's Wisconsin, and he had a little motivation, I'm sure.
Just a tad.
So, I mean, yeah, you beat, which, I mean, I know this was after and with the interim coach, but I mean, you beat Purdue, who's going to play for the, that Big Ten title. You beat Nebraska. There are not. It's not like this was just a 1-11 top season. It's just really weird. But if you had a chance to get Luke Fickell and you felt like you could get him, maybe that's all they were looking for. Maybe it was because maybe you felt like I've got a better chance of getting Luke Fickell before he gets to the Big 12 than I do after he leaves for it.
And maybe that's it. And that's, again, that's one thing I've said. If you fire a guy, you need to have a good idea who you're going to hire. Maybe their eyes were on Luke Fickell from the get.
That's what makes sense to me. And now that Cincinnati's going to the Big 12, what does that mean? That alone should at least attract some different names.
You would think. Wisconsin was 2-3 when they fired Chryst.
Did he get fired after Ohio State?
Let's see. I'm trying to scan through this article on The Athletic.
Oh, I can get there. So yes, they fired him after they lost Illinois.
Illinois.
Yep. The 34-10 loss to Illinois was the straw that broke the back.
Yeah, that's tough. Because again, Illinois was probably better than folks realized at that time. 2-3, not 0-5.
I don't think people realized that Washington State was going to be decent.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize that Illinois was going to be decent, and they looked at those two losses and thought, "We can't
with this. We cannot put." Yeah.
And look, Wisconsin shouldn't be losing those games. I agree. 100% agree with them, but I don't know that you fire your coach over it.
Right.
So,
but I do think they came out better than they were. I
agree. I would agree with that. Cincinnati should be an interesting. Whoever they go for, wherever they go to, should be interesting to see. I will be interested in that coaching search. They just apparently they were after the wide receivers coach at Ohio State. And I felt like that was a pretty far reach.
Well, everybody keeps talking about the fact that Urban Meyer played at Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's his alma mater. But that don't mean Nick Saban's going to Kent State either. So
there you go.
I'll tell you, if I'm Cincinnati, and you may know where I'm going with this. I have a name in mind, and I know he gets a little bit of a bad rep for his time, in the Pac-12. but it was Arizona. I'd call Kevin Sumlin in a heartbeat. This is a guy who can win in the Big 12.
Cannon has.
I don't know. I mean, what he did at Houston proves that he can do this. He's 100% a guy I would call. Before
Absolutely.
I would call the wide receivers coach at Ohio State.
I don't know. Like you said, I think Arizona apparently has left a bad taste in some folks' mouths for whatever reason, but
it's Arizona. Nobody can win there.
And you look at what he did at Houston. You look at what he did early at A&M.
Yeah.
And you look at what's going on now at A&M, and you think,
and you go, maybe he wasn't so bad.
Maybe he wasn't the issue, you know.
So there you go. But Prime also getting Coach Prime.
No,
also getting my bad.
I can't believe he did that. I don't know why.
Well,
yeah. Uh-oh.
It's a Charlie sighting.
Special guest.
Yeah, she ran in here, and I don't know. Go play, baby.
She was.
Yeah, he's gotten apparently an offer from Colorado. USF is out there. Why do you take those if you're Coach Prime, Dion, whatever his name is?
I think if you are a 1AA coach, an FCS coach, you probably kind of have to strike while the iron is hot if you're going to make that move. But I think you also got to be careful where it is that you go. I think Dion's from Fort Myers. South Florida might be a natural. I'm not sure Colorado is the move.
Colorado would be the last place on my list if I was Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
It would literally be like the bottom of I would take another FCS job before I would go to Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the appeal would be there for him.
So. I wanted to mention this because I saw an interview with him the other day. He was doing an interview, and he said he has never drank alcohol in his life. He said, I've never done a single drug in my life. I've never smoked anything in my life. He said, now the positive of that is I've never done those things. The negative of that is all that dumb stuff I did it stone cold sober. And I thought,
I've got a new respect for Deion Sanders.
That was pretty impressive.
You know, there's something to be said for self-awareness, man, and growth. Yeah,
and growth. I'll give him that. But yeah, so I would like to see him at the next level, at that FBS level, but I would also love to see him stay at Jackson State and just build what they have built there. The only problem that I have with that is, you know, the Celebration Bowl is not it's not the highest level that you can reach in the FCS. I don't think. I guess it kind of is. But I would like to see him coaching against, you know, the North Dakota States. I'd like to see him coaching against, if he's going to be at the FCS level.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see him at the FBS level coaching for conference championships in the AAC or this Conference USA, or please not Conference USA. But yeah, I mean, there's so many places I would love to see him, you know, be. But I also like him at Jackson State. But Colorado is at the bottom of that list, the very, very bottom. All right. Well, one final break before we get to picks. We've got 6 games to pick, Mo, so we'll get to them. here in just a few moments right here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Y'all stick around with us.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. No, I was going to say that I was a little surprised that Nashville Christian decided to kick the extra point on their second touchdown to make it 14-13, but that's why you don't chase points so early if you don't have to, because they blocked the extra point on the next touchdown from Friendship Christian. Now, they do trail 20-13, but good job there by trusting your kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, because you can get caught up in that if you're not careful, and you wind up chasing those points and not catching them, and all of a sudden you're really in a predicament. Just especially early, like you said, just kind of let things play out, see what happens. So this ain't Jeff Brothers' first rodeo.
It is not Jeff's first rodeo, no question there. Earlier today, Lipscomb Academy a 42-0 winner over CPA, and I saw them. Saw the shutout in the second half of that first game, and I just didn't think there was any way that CPA was going to get shut out in this one. And the Lions obviously were chasing pretty early. I think when they went for it on fourth down inside the 15-yard line in the second quarter, that would have cut the lead to I think 14-7. And then we're not able to convert that. I think and then Lipscomb comes down and scores, makes it 21-0. That really kind of broke the game wide open for the Mustangs, and they roll to a 42-0 win.
Pretty dominant performance on Lipscomb's part. I mean, they scored first three times they touched the ball, I think, on their first three possessions. Each of them, well, that's not right. Because their first one, they first forced a punt. But once they scored on three straight possessions, I believe. And CPA just really couldn't get much going offensively. So it was, made for a tough day, unfortunately for them. So
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. We've got 6 more games to go. We'll start with tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time kick. You can watch it on MyTV 30, or you can hopefully get it on NFHS Network. I finally got this one up, but I am a little behind, but at least I can see it. Alcoa, East Nashville, tomorrow, 3A game, rematch of last year's state championship game. What's the crystal ball say?
Well, the crystal ball says this one won't be 45-14 like last year, but I think it will be Alcoa once again. They looked awfully good last week over at Giles County, and I think East Nashville did a great job in getting back, survived a couple of losses to close out the regular season, and became road warriors. Went to Covington last week and won. Went to Waverly, went to Smith County, where they had lost in the final weekend of the regular season. So I think they get off to a better start than they did last year. I think it's a game for longer than it was last year, but I think the Tornadoes get it done yet again.
Yeah. Make it 8.
Yeah.
8 is great if you're Alcoa, and I think the Tornadoes do get the win. I have it as a two-score game, 15 points. I think you've got it pretty close to that, 14.
I've got it 14, 34-20.
I think 2 touchdowns is just about right.
Mm-hmm.
2 o'clock tomorrow, kicking off Clay County in their first trip to a football state championship game. This is pretty impressive. We saw Clay County in the Blue Cross Bowl or Blue Cross basketball championships a couple of years ago, and I think they had a really good play. Grant Strong, who's now at Tennessee Tech, I believe, was Mr. Basketball for Clay County, and really, really good basketball player. And this is a basketball school, but now they get a chance to make themselves a football school, as the Dogs will get the McKenzie Rebels, who had to kick that last-second field goal to beat Fayetteville in round 3.
And their kicker, Zach Aird, I think he was up for kicker of the year last year. McKenzie was in the state finals last year.
Right.
Don't think
lost
they won.
to South Pittsburgh.
Right. There we go. Yeah. So they've got some experience on this stage, and I think that may ultimately make the difference here. And it kind of sounds cliche, but like you said, this is Clay County's first state championship appearance. The program has not been this deep in the playoffs since '85, when they made the Class A semifinals and lost to South Pitt. So, and it's interesting. I checked in with our buddy Noah McKay with the Upper Cumberland Reporter, and said a lot of these kids are sons of guys that were on that '85 team. So that's got to be pretty sweet for that community there. But I think McKenzie takes care of this one.
That is interesting, right? Because you think about it, that was 33 years ago. 37 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm 30. Yeah, I'm 36. So 37 years ago. So yeah, that makes sense that those guys would have kids on that team, and that their kids would be as good as they were at football. If you had boys, you had to expect this might have been coming around. But
yeah.
Congrats to the Bulldogs for making it. But they're not going to take on the gold ball, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the feel good story kind of stops here. So,
nightcap tomorrow, Knoxville West, and they have been on an absolute tear, but they get the experienced Page Patriots in the state finals. The last time.
Experienced and tested. I mean, lost to Powell in the state finals last year. Again, a team that has had to be road warriors. They went to Mount Juliet, Nolensville, and Henry County, and emerged victorious each time. And I think that kind of built a confidence. It kind of built an edge. That you just feel like whatever you see here tomorrow night, you're ready for it.
We talked about it 2 years ago. Summit taking that next step after their championship game loss,
Mhm.
and then going back the next year and getting the win over Oak Ridge. You know, this Page team lost a lot from last year's team, but there's a lot of really good football players on it, and I think it's going to be a really good football game. I think Knoxville West has shown that they are as good as anybody in the state with wins over Alcoa and Maryville. But Page is right there. I've got Knox West winning this game, but I don't know, man.
I was ready to pick Knox West. I mean, again, like you said, they've got wins over both Alcoa and Maryville, which rarely happens over in East Tennessee. 12 of their 14 wins are by double digits. But I just think there's something about this Page team, and I think they come through this time around.
I think you're right. But I do think that this is going to be a good football game. I think it will be a lot better than last year's 5A game, which Page was in for most of. It got away late. With Walter Nolan and Jordan Powell doing what they do or Jordan Potts for Powell.
For Powell,
but,
yeah.
Had to get that one right. But, yeah, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock early, Anderson County, Pearl Cone. This is, man, I went back and forth on this one because Pearl Cone is so athletic, but Anderson County is so physical. And so in the cold weather, I had to go with the Mavericks.
I understand that. I don't think this is going to be a 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of ball game, though, because Anderson County's got Mr. Football finalist Walker Martinez, who's thrown for almost 3,700 yards and 50 touchdowns. So
yeah, and I'm just saying, I just think that they're a little more physical, and when you get hit in the cold, it takes a little bit more of a toll on you, and they fly around the field and they hit you on defense. I think it's more their defense that I'm thinking is going to be a little bit more physical than the offense.
I think with the speed that Pearl Cone puts on the field, I'm not sure how worried they are about getting hit.
Got to catch them to hit them.
Yeah, you got to catch them first. So, but I think between Martinez and Pearl Cone quarterback Keyshawn Tarleton, this one might be a case of who's got the ball last. I like Pearl Cone close, but I've got it by field goal, and I've got it pretty high scoring, so we'll see how it goes.
I've got it less than that. You and I are right on that. I've actually got them scoring more points, 82 total, to your
79.
79. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got Anderson County 42-40 over Pearl Cone. I think maybe some extra points might be the difference.
Could be. Could absolutely be.
Afternoon affair. If you're not planning on watching Georgia LSU, and if you are, I understand, but it will be just about over by about halftime of this one. So you might as well flip over Tyner Academy and Decatur County Riverside. I don't know. Do you know the last time Riverside was in a state championship game? If they've ever been, I don't know.
In the words of the immortal Cat Williams, not never.
So this is big.
It is. It is. Yeah. And they've got
now I'm thinking about Grizzly Adams.
They've got a junior running back, Desmond Thomas, that, and we talked about it earlier in the week. I think there's a certain group of football folks a little south of Columbia that will be paying a lot of attention to this ball game. Because Riverside eliminated Mount Pleasant 18-13 in the second round. But Riverside's got a junior running back, Desmond Thomas, who is kind of built for this type game. You know, it's going to be cold. It's going to be yucky. And he's a grinded out kind of guy. He carried it 48 times against Mount Pleasant. And they don't mind giving it to him. But
you know, you're right. I didn't mention this, but it's supposed to rain Friday night into Saturday morning. That could make a difference in both Anderson County, Pearl-Cohn, and this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is going to be a physical ball game, but I think Tyner playing virtually at home is going to have the city behind them, and I think it's going to be an emotional game for the Rams, and I think that's going to kind of carry them through. I've got the Rams here.
I've got the Rams as well. And the nightcap, we just talked about it. Oakland Beach, Saturday night, 6 o'clock kick, Central Time. Patriots going to become the first ever three-peat state champion in Class 6A history, Mo.
It's not going to be easy. Beach's only loss came in week 1 up at Farragut. They've run off 13 straight since then. And as Kevin Creasy said, 50-39 comeback win over at Bartlett in the semifinal with Darius Johnson rushing for 301 yards and 4 touchdowns. So I would imagine he's going to be public enemy number 1 for the Oakland defense, featuring those 2 outside linebackers that also run track. But I think Oakland's got some big playability that's going to show up in this one at some point. So I'm looking at Oakland by a couple of scores when it's all said and done.
You know, we watched this Oakland team, and again, different Oakland team. Don't get me wrong. Different quarterback. Jordan James isn't out there, but they have the ability to hit the big play just because of how athletic they are. And it's so crazy to watch this team just be so successful and so dominant every time they go out. And, you know, CPA game notwithstanding, I don't see any way that Oakland trips up in this one. But I certainly think it's going to be a really good game. I've got Oakland 45, Beach 35. High scoring affair. Again, I think Beach is going to give up some points, but I also think they're going to score some.
Yeah, I think Beach can score. I think they will score. I've got 41-28 the final, but I expect it to be a ball game for, deep into the fourth before Oakland pulls away.
And that's going to do it. Now you know who's going to win. You don't, you can just
don't even have to go.
Chill out on the couch and enjoy it if you want to watch it on TV, or you can take your trip to Finley Stadium. It's worth it if you want to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. This one currently, Friendship Christian leads Nashville Christian 20-13 at halftime, and so this is going to be a really good one in the second half. Kick back, watch it as well. 4 o'clock, you've got George Plaster. If you didn't hear Watson Brown talk about Trent Dilford to UAB, go back and watch that. Watson obviously has a unique perspective when it comes to, hiring coaches at UAB. So,
well, you know what's funny? Watson was at UAB, but he was also at Cincinnati.
Hey, call him up. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll talk a lot of college football. We'll pick our college football 10 games as we always do. So come back then. We appreciate it. This is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. For Justin back in the studio and Mo, I'm Chris. Y'all have a good one.